Today I'm with my friend Chris, who really helped me out when I was going through top surgery. It takes such a toll on your body and what you can manage, and one thing that was a big responsibility for me just in life are my dogs. And I was stressing about what am I going to do with my dogs and dog care during the recovery time, and Chris stepped forward and was able to help me, and I am really thankful. Whoa, puppy! Okay. And it was funny because you just had your surgery a month ahead of me.
Right.
So I got all kinds of previews for what to expect, and you could really relate to the dog situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so thankful, and I wanted everybody to know how thankful I was.
I'm glad we could help.
Exactly, brothers helping each other out.
That's right.
And go ahead and introduce yourself and sort of when you started transition, so a little bit about your identity and so forth.
So I'm Chris. Yeah, I started transitioning in December of 2013.
2013.
Does that seem right?
Yeah.
December of 2013. I actually, it's funny. I watched Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I had this show on called Hit or Miss.
Mm-hmm.
It was a series. I want to say it was a BBC series with Chloe Sevigny.
Oh,
the
yeah.
actress.
Yeah.
She's done a couple of trans things. With
Interesting.
an HBO series called If These Walls Could Talk. You
I
remember
know
that?
what
She was cross-dressing in that.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And so, anyway, she played a transgender hit woman. A
Interesting.
trans hit woman.
Yeah.
And there was something about her performance that just really resonated with me. It was weird.
So a TV drama.
Yeah, I mean, it was just
something that spoke to your identity, and it was like
Yeah.
something clicked at that moment.
Yeah, and there were some scenes in that show where she was just so miserable with herself.
And that was the part where you resonated? The pain?
I guess. I don't know what it was.
That's
It was just
interesting.
it was ridiculous,
Yeah,
really.
that's really interesting.
Of all the things in my life that caused me to see the big red barn that was right in front of my face,
Yeah.
a television series, it's just ridiculous. So I don't know, but that's what it was.
And so it was
I started
later-
thinking about it.
Yeah, it was
And-
later in life.
Yeah, I'm 45, so I was 43 at the time. So
You were 43 at the time when everything clicked. Everything clicked, and it was
Yeah.
that show and that portrayal that made you realize your identity.
yeah, I've had all kinds of problems. As I'm sure all of us have had. That
Yeah.
Transitioning, and just failing to recognize what the big cause of the problem is. We talked about this a little bit where I personally tend to compartmentalize problems. So if I'm having a problem with something, I just keep it in a capsule, and nothing else is a problem. I've done fine socially, whatever. I don't know. I'm surrounded by people who are good people that don't care really what I am or who I am. Just know that I'm a good person, and so it didn't cause a problem for me, except that I was never really a whole person, and that's a problem.
That is.
Right? I mean, it's a big problem.
So you had all this support
Yeah.
around you, but because you couldn't recognize your own situation because you were putting it away, you couldn't take action. Was part of that compartmentalizing or the process, was that just a form of you censoring that feeling inside? Like,
It might have been me protecting myself.
Yeah.
Just being in a place where I wasn't ready to deal with it.
yeah.
We all have different things that we need to deal with in life, and that
was
can
it-
be a struggle.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you think part of you was thinking of it as too overwhelming, or it's just too much work for you and your everything?
What I can remember thinking about people who chose to transition in the past was that, oh my gosh, they just must be feeling terrible, because it seemed drastic to me.
Yeah.
The thought of having surgeries seemed drastic to me in the past.
And because I did
Years
this
ago.
too. I did this too, where I was like, well, it's not that bad. I mean, I
Right.
can live. It's
Well, you know
not-
what I
yeah.
thought was, I remember as a young, maybe in middle school or something, just being super depressed, and just having days where I would just cry, and my mom would say, "What's wrong? What can I do? What can I do to help?" And I'm like, "Mom, there's nothing you can do." And I wouldn't share it with her, because I'm like, Jesus, the thought of even saying it,
So it was
there's no
in
way I
there.
could bring myself,
Yeah.
and I could barely just allow myself to think it, to tell you the truth. I just thought, you know what? I thought, this is the hand that I've been dealt, and this is what I'm going to have to deal with. But I will never be able to do that. That's what I thought.
It does, this awareness of being transgender, and well, or even just this awareness of feeling like something's not right with your body, it feels like there isn't anything you can do when you look at it, especially from the perspective of like being young, and you don't have money or a job, and you see things on TV, and it's like really far-fetched, really far out there.
I grew up in a small town where, you know, I felt like I was the only person. You know, at that point I was identifying probably as lesbian, you know, because
it's all
whatever,
there
I
was.
just hadn't taken the second step.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's another topic. But yeah, I was thinking I was the only one. I couldn't talk to anybody about it. Could never be who I was. You know, and then you start to think about, hey, you know, I've got 70 or 80 years here if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Right? And am I going to live this for me or for somebody else?
Yeah. That's
Right?
Exactly.
And that's kind of where I was at age 43. I'm like, you know, screw that.
Yeah.
I want to be happy.
It takes.
And I want to realize my full potential as a human being.
Yeah.
And I want to get it right for the second half.
That's really what it feels like during the course of your life. Some things that are so important, you just don't know until later that you can actually do them. Like you know these little things that you want to do or you think you could do, and you're not sure if it will work. And for me, sometimes I'd be like, well, I don't think my parents would really understand if I transition, so I'm just not going to. Like, they even matter that much. I mean, they do.
They do, of
but
course they do.
Not when it comes to my life and my happiness. I don't have to think about that aspect. And so, anyway, you come to this age where you're like, wait a minute. I'm just going to actually do what I actually feel is right for myself.
Right. And everybody's going to benefit from that, because you're going to be a happier, healthier person.
That's the best part, is that everybody wins.
Right. I feel like I work with 10,000 people. I do. At no other time in my life have I wished that I worked for a small company with like 5 people.
Yeah.
Because then I would be fine. Because you have that conversation 5 times. But I feel like I have to have this conversation 10,000 times. And my work was very supportive. From my management to all of my coworkers, like alarmingly supportive, like extremely positive. And in the fall of last year, we had a meeting where everybody in the country met that's in doing what I do, and everybody again was very extremely supportive. And then I saw my own unit again here a few weeks ago in Phoenix, and people commented to me, they're like, you seem so much happier. And
that's what people notice.
And I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like, I don't have a bunch of junk weighing me down. I can just be who I am.
Finally.
And I can laugh and be happy and not worry about what people think.
Yeah.
Because I don't.
Exactly.
Before, you know, I think it's interesting that as a young person, that the thing that you're not willing to stuff inside or suppress is your orientation, who you're attracted to. That wasn't something I was willing to.
Yeah.
You know, I
Fake
don't know
it.
if that's true for you
Yeah.
too, but you know,
No,
like
that
I
came out.
suppressed being transgender for, you know, 40 years. Or,
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But I wasn't willing to
be like.
to fake the relationships.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, not that I didn't try.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I did. It just it failed miserably.
Yeah, there's that sexual connection is such a strong.
It's interesting though how I wasn't willing to do that, but I was willing to just forgo happiness living in the wrong body.
That's a very interesting point.
No, maybe that's because of society and the awakening of people's complete selves, like with Ellen. Yep, I'm gay. Which came along much earlier than Bruce Jenner, talking about or transitioning.
And that kind of ties in. It's having more examples available.
Yeah.
Especially in media and stuff like that.
It's weird. You think it's
actually
totally ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right? But it
TV
does actually help.
me.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Anyway.
Yeah. In conclusion, we're just 2 happy guys out here, and really lucky that we have found support in these different ways, and I am glad that I was able to speak with you. I think your story is very interesting, and it's important for people to see that there are these late bloomers, these late in life, recognizing,
Waiters.
but it's never too late, right? You feel
It's
great.
not. It's not.
Your body is changing, and you were talking
is.
about, you can do so much more, like athletically, and you're
Yeah.
becoming this person that you've always wanted to be.
Yep, I just like myself.